Namaste. Welcome to Wise Owl Career Guide. Today we have somebody with us who comes from a very interesting and fascinating industry. We have Miss Rohina Singh with us. She's an independent filmmaker who has a 12 years experience working with documentaries, web series, corporate promotions. So let's hear from us what has her journey been like. Welcome, Rohina.
Hi, Neha. Thank you so much for having me here. And, I think it's an opportunity to sort of share my experience with everybody. So, thank you.
Okay, so Rohina, tell us how did you, first of all, what was that one pushing factor for you to get into it, this particular line of work? Because this is an industry that, every youngster gets fascinated with, but taking that leap of staying behind the camera rather than going in front of the camera is a different story altogether. So, what made you decide to get into this industry? And how has the journey been? What is the formal or informal education you've had to begin with?
Yeah. So, I'm audible, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll say that while the times have changed now, and there is a lot of knowledge and information about it, there are films that make making of through which you can understand what all there is that goes into the films and stuff, what all positions are there. Uh, However, at my time, which is almost 15 years ago, uh,
Mhm.
you know, uh, there wasn't much knowledge about the film industry or awareness or even about the different skills that one can sort of hone to be in the technical side of the things, because one must understand films is as technical as creative it is. And you know So on that note, it was a struggle. The struggle was to also find out as to what one wants to do in the film industry, which actually has so many things to offer, which is like, you can be a costume designer, actor, director, producer, art director, a cinematographer. So there, a writer. So there are like, and apart from that, then you have editor, and then you have color correction person, and there is a lot of things that one can be skilled at. A film goes through many processes, technical and creative. So that time we didn't have much knowledge, and because of that, it was quite a challenge. And then that challenge within oneself also posed to be a challenge to explain to others, what you were chasing, which is, your family, and who are looking at you having a very straight career, wherein, one goes to give an interview and one gets a job, and then there are all the benefits, and then there is a Saturday, Sunday off. However, in the film industry, anything happens, so that's how
Any
it is.
time of the
So,
day.
sorry?
I'm saying anything happens at any time of the day.
Exactly. So, it is known to everybody that it's a very maybe it's a very disorganized industry, or at least it was at the time when, there wasn't, uh, uh, there was a lot of persuasion that went into it. And it carried on for many years, which is like, even after getting into it, one had to sort of prove again and again and clear people's doubts. So I
Right.
started with, now, because of this sort of, the lack of understanding about all of these things, not just in amongst people, but also within myself, as to what I want to do. First, I went through, bachelor's in mathematics. And after that, I joined the Xavier's Institute of Communication in Bombay to do
Okay.
a 1 year course in film and TV video production course, which is a very effective course.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 1 year, and it really sort of can build one's thought process and
Okay.
ethics and things like that about films, which is also a part of it, because a film is something that impacts socially. It is a talking, moving, something that makes you feel. So it has many aspects to it. It's very breathing. It's a very live living thing for me.
Right.
So it was a journey, but I luckily got through Xavier's, and there is also Sapphires in Bombay where one can join and do a course like this. There are a couple in Delhi also, like in Noida you have the I think it's called the you know so in Delhi you have Jamia Millia. You also have IIMC. These are mainly for journalism, but they also have filmmaking courses.
Hmm.
And there is one in Noida as well.
Okay.
I think it's called Asian Film Academy.
All right. So, what was that first break that you got after completion of your course? And
Uh,
how, the thought of the entire film industry sounds very fascinating. It's like you're kind of on a cloud nine that everything is gonna be hunky dory and beautiful, but I think the story behind the sets is something else. And choosing to be behind the sets rather than coming onto it was a very different choice, considering it was some 15 years back. Now obviously there's more awareness. So how was that entire bubble that you had created in your head about what your work is going to be like compared to what the reality you saw with your first break?
Um, okay, it's an excellent question. You have a lot of memes of reality versus these dreams and or expectations on this thing, and it's very true. Believe most of them. I'm just saying this off the this charts, but uh, when I joined Xavier's, we had a very interesting teacher who used to teach us direction. And one day he just asked us, he said, "Do you know what is the most important thing when you enter the film industry? What is the most important thing that you need?" And everybody came up with all sorts of answers like camera and this and and a script and all sorts of things. And then he said it's a good pair of sneakers because yeah. So and even I found it like it was literally all of us didn't understand what he really meant by it, and he also left it there and he said, "You will know what I mean." So I mean, it's not very impactful, but then once you enter the film industry and you start doing the shoots and you realize that shoots is not just something which is like shoots is also a very physical job. So being in the film industry is not just creative, but it's also very physical. You have to go to different kinds of places, shoots, climb mountains, be in the water, and for all of these things is why he said, and then when you're shooting in films or anywhere, there are lots of wires everywhere. So you
Right.
should always have that pair of sneakers to keep yourself safe and this thing. So yeah, that was one
Able to
thing.
run around the amount of running that is required.
Exactly. So this is something that I had not expected. Like his question and his answer was quite surprising, but I did see the reality of it. And
Oh,
after Xavier's, I joined an advertising production house for a while, which
okay.
would the course at Xavier's also equipped one to sort of join different mediums depending on what one wanted. So be it TV or advertising, production house or filmmaking, or you can also study that and get into web series and sort of carve out a career, depending on the format and the platform you sort of like. So
Hmm.
I joined an advertising production house for about a year and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I got a sense of what was going to be there in the films because when there is a shoot of a film, it can go on for a month. However, for an
Right.
ad, it's only for 2, 3 days. So uh, I worked there and I learned quite a bit about the advertising industry, but I was sort of maybe driven to, a little more inclined towards working on a larger narrative because I was
Okay.
extremely fascinated by films like all Indians are from childhood. So,
Right.
so I think just advertising video production was not satisfying my hunger. So
Creative.
then I went into films and I got lucky. I got to assist on a film called Peja Fry Part 2 under this director called Sagar Balari.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I was lucky enough because he was also making another film at the same time, which is called Hum Tum Shabana. So I got in and I was suddenly working on two films, and it was crazy. Yeah. To
So
sum it
how many
up,
pairs of sneakers did you require to be working on two projects at the same time?
many. I mean, but I think I bought only one or two because initially when you have your struggling days or when you've just joined in, it's not like the money is raining in the film industry. So that's also one thing that one should remember. um
Okay.
yeah, it is an industry which is sort of it's not very organized. It does not, because it is so dreamy and because it promises you the dream that actually everybody dreams from childhood, but very few go to sort of uh, you know
Being
chase it.
part of it.
Yeah. uh, it uses it. The film industry will use it to just get you on a discounted rate because it is giving you a taste of that experience, and also it is on a shoot when you're working as an AD, you're learning things that no college can teach you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really, it becomes something else, and all of your studies in the class and all starts changing into um, something else, and like a lot more starts coming to life what you had studied on paper in
Hmm.
reality, when you realize that you're you have to be more aware than anything, because again, it's not like you go to one office every day, so it's different locations you shoot at. Different locations come with different challenges. You're with so many people, different minds come with different challenges,
Right.
and different aspects of the shoot. So I'll say one thing is that life in films is like a new day every day.
Okay. So
Yeah.
every day is a new challenge. Nothing is, on a repeat mode for you.
Every day is a new thrill.
Okay.
To be honest, like it's a new thrill and you have to get through it, and it can be like a new adventure. And in the beginning it's like script writing, then it goes into audition, then it goes into the shoot and pre-production, and once the shoot is over, then you're getting into editing. So, and then music, then you have suddenly lots of musicians coming and making music for you. So it's a long process, and it has so many different things that it's new. Again and again you do new things every now and then, so people who like sort of enjoy doing new things and or different things basically,
Hmm.
film industry would like really satiate their taste and fulfill it, sort of. So it's a very colorful industry.
Right. So, it's like about 15 years back, we didn't have these web series or, corporates getting into those many, ads was one part of it. But now a lot of, corporates are getting into educational courses or documentaries on a different level. Earlier, when we thought of documentaries, they were very, boring and very serious topics that were there. But now we see, even the authors getting into documentaries about various subjects, be it, let's say the recent one on the Ramayana, or, even the documentaries on criminals is getting into it. So that is, a whole story getting created over there. So you've seen that web series transition as well in your career, right? And even the the courses or the these kind of documentaries which are much more thrilling to watch, not serious or boring with this that black and white kind of this thing.
Right.
So what is the scope there for the youngsters, or
So I'll tell
anybody
you.
who's kind of looking for a career switch also? There is a lot of things happening on YouTube as well, where obviously there is a shooting happening, there is a recording, then there are the other processes of music edition, editing, and everything. So, what has been your experience and learnings there?
So to begin with, the blast in technology. is what has allowed so many platforms, so many different formats, so many different ways of communicating and languages within the audio visual medium of communication. And it is happening because of technology. Earlier, a camera was expensive. One had to put a negative film reel in it. The negative had a cost in itself. Then the negative had to be turned into then the negative had to be edited or negative had to be turned into a digital format. So it was
Okay.
so filmmaking is always an expensive art. Now it has become cheaper with phones in our hands, with so many platforms that allow you to sort of stream your video, live stream, or even just put out your videos for the world to watch.
Right.
So it's mainly happening because of the blast in technology. And now for me, I see them as these different mediums of communicating with people, because this is essentially, it is mass communication.
Right.
Now that mass communication can happen in a fictional format, in films or on TV or on social media. I mean, there are social media influencers now who basically say a whole narrative in 1 minute and make people laugh or make people cry. So I really, so this is, with the blast in technology, I say there has been a blast in creativity and
Right.
different formats, and people realizing how differently can I use these new aspects of technology to tell what, say what I want to say, or to share my story, or whatever it is, or to empower other people about this thing. So I think it's a great space, and I think uh, even till now film remains a niche which is expensive, and everything. So that is one aspect of it. And then there is the TV. Then there are these web series. Web series also has a lot of this, because Netflix and all are almost like a corporate sector. So it is a lot of MBA people and that way people who have sort of, sorry, gotten into it. So a lot of white collar professionals have gotten into it and started it. So I
Mhm.
also see a new wave of like a different thought and a different mind that is coming, that is looking to merge technology with creativity. And
Right.
yeah, and that has been like really exciting for me, because films is not creativity alone, it always goes with technology. We were able to watch something in a certain way earlier only and only because it was limited only to that point.
Correct.
But now we are not limited anymore. And since we are not limited anymore, I say one can do whatever. Now people get ring lights, put it in their house, set up a camera, and are speaking to millions and millions globally. And I
Correct.
think it is really, really powerful. And so, again, I see no demarcation. I mean, these are just different formats. You see what suits which format. For example, if you're making a documentary which you think is which is socially driven, so then you see what format should I make it in, which platform should I try to take it in, that it serves my purpose of the objective that I have. So if you're
Mhm.
making a fiction film, which wherein you want to cast an actor, you want to tell that story to a large number of people, you would want to aim at an OTT. You would have to then, on the basis of that, have that kind of budget to have an actor, and so on and so forth. But then, if you want to just do it at a YouTube level, start your channel, then you have to set it up like that. You can get some, I don't know, your family friends, or younger, or your friends who are actors, or just actors from here and there, starter, people, and be
Mhm.
able to tell a story. There are now n number of videos that empower you to learn
Right.
video making and everything. So it has really blasted, and I personally love to watch people do their thing, dancing, cooking, whatever it is online. And for me, there's nothing comparative about it. It's a different medium, it has a different language. So one,
Right.
yeah. And again, now this is an arts medium, right? And I'm one of those people who says you can start whenever. So if one wants to start off going to college and getting into films, can do that. One wants to start off just making films in their house, to begin with, to get a sense of what it is, I say do that. There is no one set learning for this.
Hmm.
It's just that um, when you go to college, you learn a lot about the history. So therein comes that whole. I think it integrally sort of fascinates you about the innovation that has happened from a long time ago, and also the understanding of film and cinema. Because
Okay.
when it came up as an art, the first film that was made was a train. That time, the camera was an old camera. It ran only 16 frames. Okay.
Okay.
And after that, it was only that much. The negative was only 16 frames. So it would cut. Okay. So
Hmm.
what people did was that they got a camera and they put it at a station where a train arrived. So a
Okay.
train arrived and people got down. This was the only shot. It was all happening in sort of fast motion because earlier cameras used to sort of record at a higher speed.
Okay.
Okay, this is getting too technical, but I want to tell you about. So, see, this was the camera. This is what it did, and when this is the first time a video was put out in front of people, and people came and sat in the hall just to watch that small clip. Now,
Right.
and when the train came, everybody got up and they moved because they had never seen video in their life for the first time. So this was the effect. So you have to understand what what a film and all does. It equips you to understand the kind of effect that what a film school does is the kind of effect that it can have, where
Right.
that effect began from, how
Hmm.
innocent it was, and how it has now gotten developed into this very complex storytelling across so many different mediums.
Right.
So uh, again, there is no one set way of going about it. One once has a story to tell, can say it in n number of ways, can do it at home, on their phone, on anything. And then there is that other route where one goes to a college and do it. Then there are other routes where one straight away gets into a film industry. I have seen people rise from being a sport boy, which is probably serving chai to people, to becoming producers and actually releasing their own films. The producer of Beja Prai is one of those people. I
Okay.
don't know if you can quote me on this, right? Because he's really far off, but I'm just saying. So, you do have these kind of. So it's a very free space. It's art. It's art. So don't let anything limit you. But do not. I really feel that one should not even like. One should not let anything limit them. Then also means that don't say no to anything.
Right.
Right? If an Yeah.
Do you think formalizing the entire education part? Yes, today with the phone cameras, you don't even require your old DSLR cameras to even click pictures. But does it give you an advantage over the others in terms of understanding the smaller or the finer details of when you're shooting, as compared to somebody who's just picked up a camera and maybe use that to make a small web series, or those 2 minutes 3 minutes reels, understanding the angles and all? Does it, or you think that that can be developed over the time with just watching your own work? Or is it better to go through a formal education and get that understanding?
So, what I think is that, see, I feel that the film industry is an art. Uh, Filmmaking or video making is a sort of an art in itself, and it can be used for various purposes like journalism and things also. But I will talk from what I have learned from that point of view. So I feel that as an artist, one evolves with their art. So if you have picked up the camera today, tomorrow you will have discovered something more, day after something more, and day after something more. The point is that you should be playing with it every day, like a writer should be writing every day, uh, because it's something that grows with you. It's a combination. It's a combination of the human and his art, and it grows together. And that's why one has a muse, an artist has a muse. It's about inspiration. So uh, again, I do not think that formal training is necessary. But I feel that if somebody wants to go through a formal training, it has its own pros. Like I said, that it formal training means it'll take you through what cinema was, how it was perceived, the different topics, the different aspects of mass communication, uh, the kind of impact that it can have. Uh, but again, in the world that we are today, where everything is also available online, and there are so many videos that people are just making, and there also I come across so much of creativity online, and at many in different on different platforms also, from people who have not gone through any formal training or education, and they're still exploring their art. So somehow, even though I did go to a Xavier's, and I also later went to FTI to do a short 1 month course to basically trigger my inspiration and things like that, I still feel that per se formal training is not needed. So if there is somebody who cannot go for a formal training, um, but can shoot on his phone or her phone, I say go ahead. It's not like also everybody has the same opportunities or the same economic conditions. So I would
Right.
say that to be in the film industry, basically nothing should stop you, nothing can stop you if you're wanting to say something or to tell a story or to be a storyteller. The one great thing about this industry is that there is no one set way, so you can definitely come in with your new ideas and creativity and move what you want to move if you really want to say it, because that's one thing that's needed in the film industry. It's a very challenging industry initially, even in web series or TV, and at all this level, initially, even for video makers to come online and keep making the videos till they get a number of viewers, and
Right.
some maybe brands to collaborate with,
Mhm.
it is challenging for everybody. And what really counts is you getting up and making your video again and again, you getting up and doing this again and again. So it's a passion. It's an industry that is driven by passion, some a kind of a mad passion, because it is not giving you benefits, it is not giving you any kind of EPFO, your provident fund, or medical insurance, or great food, or great office, or anything great. In fact, it comes with new adventures every day. So
Right.
please join the industry if you're or any of these things, get into it if you're really really passionate about filmmaking or video making, or about telling a story, or about communicating with people. If that passion is not there, then and you want to like make money, then it'll be better to go to a place, choose a different career where money is easy. This is a mad industry. I feel like I joined this industry despite not having any of these things. Then I have to be mad to be doing it. That's all.
Okay, so what is what is that one thing that over the years has taught you, that one motto that helps you keep going in this mad industry, and coming back every day with that conviction that yes, I need to be here, I want to be here, and I want to keep going. So what is that one motto or suggestion that you would give to all the people who want to get into this space?
So I don't know if I have a set motto for this, but I will really say if there is a motto to be put, that take it step by step, step at a time. Do this today, do the next thing tomorrow. All of this can, because again it's an art and everything, it can feel very overwhelming, and it also takes time to get created. So one step at a time. But apart from that, one thing that really like excites me when I wake up to do this is the fact that um, you know I have the power to create something that has a power to make an impact. You know,
Right.
uh, always when media came into play initially,
Mhm.
it wasn't available for people to watch films, and it was a very expensive thing, and not so many films were being made. But people like Hitler and a lot of world leaders had understood this medium as the medium of mass communication, where one can communicate with masses and hence make an impact, or whatever it is that one is using it for.
Right.
So it's a very powerful art and medium. And because I would like to make an impact through my stories, or my films, or my documentary. I find it the best way to do it. I find it like, if there is any place where you want to talk to a lot of people, this is the place, and that's so beautiful and that's so precious, you know.
Thank you so much, Rohina, for joining us today. And, as you have told us, you're in the process of making a documentary. So we hope to see what that documentary is very soon, hopefully, and all the best for that. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us today.
Thank you, Neha. I'm really happy to have been here. I hope I have not overspoken and things like that,
No,
and
no,
I hope this helps
absolutely
people.
not.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
See you.
So that was Miss Rohina Singh talking to us about various aspects of movie making or reel making or even your, the web series making. I think the takeaway from her experience is that if you think you are that creative person and you have a story to tell, please don't hesitate in actually taking that step. And you will obviously not climb the Everest in one day, but taking that first step and ensuring to keep taking those steps is what is important. Don't wait for that perfect timing, perfect everything to be settled before you can start. Start small. Start with one thing at a time. List down what things you need and then start. But the important part is, if you want something, you have to start. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please do like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for the channel. Thank you so much.